So we hear a lot about GTO poker. Can you explain in pretty simple terms for our viewers, what does that mean?
So GTO stands for Game Theory Optimal, and it's basically the theory behind poker. So in the equilibrium, if we're both playing Game Theory Optimal, then none of us has an edge. It's just like mathematically impossible. So ideally you want to use GTO as your base strategy, and then you also want to mix in some exploitable strategies depending on your player, because no one really plays even close to GTO at the table. So you don't need to worry too much about playing perfectly, because it's impossible, humanly impossible to do so.
Is GTO a part of your own personal game? How important is it to you at the table?
It used to be more of an exploitable player who didn't focus so much on the game theory, but in the last couple of years, it's something I've studied more and became more aware about, and now I use it on a daily basis, and then mixing in some exploitable plays here and there, but I use GTO as my baseline.
So how do you do that then? How do you go from playing more exploitably to understanding GTO and applying it to your own game? Where can our viewers learn more about GTO and how to make it part of their game?
So there's a lot of computer softwares these days. They're called solvers, and you can basically input your range and put your opponent on a range, and then it mathematically calculates the best decisions.
So homework.
Homework, yeah, a lot of homework. But again, it's impossible to run every different situation. So you just kind of have to study what the computer would do, and then try to get a feel for certain situations, and then reapply them to different situations that are similar.
Okay, so to make it even more clear, can you give us an example of where using GTO poker is better at the poker table? Something simple.
So from my experience, using GTO is more beneficial when you're playing against really high level players that are playing closer to GTO.
Yeah.
So it's not really something that you need to worry about in your local home game or even local casino. So in those type of games, it's definitely more profitable, I would say, to use a really exploitable style. So basically, if your opponents are playing really loose, you want to play tight, and if they're playing tight, you want to play more loose and aggressive, and it really doesn't have to be more complicated than that.